I can't see people. So like if any of you don't mind sharing the videos, that would be a little better. Oh, nice. That's much better. Because it acts like you are just having a one-way interaction and no one's there to watch or see. So hi, like I'll just start with a
Yeah, let me begin.
okay.
So good afternoon. This is Anjula Khan, and I thank all the participants for being with us today in IMPAR's SSC Awareness Program. Please allow me to welcome our speaker, Ms. Anamika Singh. She's done her schooling from various Army public schools across India, giving her an enriching experience. And she has cleared 64 BPSC CC mains exam 2018, UPSC CSE prelims 2017, UPSC CAPF 2016, TDS twice and state service exams. She has compiled 2 books and 1 magazine under Cosmos Publications and is working on quality book, Indian Constitution and Governance and Madhya Pradesh a Comprehensive Study. Please welcome Ms. Anamika Singh. Thank you.
Hi. So that was a really nice introduction
That was
on a
actually
point.
impressive.
Thank you so much. So, since this is all about being talking about SSC awareness program, and this is why we have joined here for. I don't know basically if any one of you can actually tell me what is your standard, like 12th graduate. Where are you from at this stage? Any one of you can unmute and then simply say, yeah. Let's try keeping this session as interactive as possible so that it will be beneficial for all of us all around. No? Okay.
Because if
I'll,
you would
I'll,
like, yeah.
I'll assume that the minimum educational qualification would be graduation, and then I'll be taking it forward. So, as you might be listening to the news channels daily about these SSC programs like SSC digital campaign being going around. So, this is just the basic part of it, how you deal about it. So, basically, what is SSC? Am I audible or am I comfortable like in the language? Any issues? Anyone?
Yeah, you are.
Okay. So basically, when we after graduation, when we come into a platform and when we are graduate, we start searching for jobs. And the very mandate in our society is sarkari naukri chahiye. The basic thing starts like, array, whatever you have done, like the graduation, professional degree, ho, ya normal science graduate, या whatever you are, you start working with this philosophy in your mind कि government job chahiye. So when you're talking about a government job, the basic thing or the finest line where we start preparing is SSC. SSC is a government organization that recruits people into various posts in various ministries and departments. Like whatever you have heard or the childhood dream of working in a government setup, government corporate setup, जहाँ पे अलग अलग excise inspector or whatever, all these kinds of recruitments are done from Staff Selection Commission or SSC. So this is the new logo. They have changed it like few years back. The biggest thing is, or the biggest confusion that students or in fact people like us also faces, ki, what does SSC actually do? Like actually what kind of examination does it conduct and how many posts are there? What is the way we can get enrolled in? So we'll be talking about what are the basic exams that are conducted by SSC. This is LDC, the most common, the most you can say the most knowing matlab you can almost hear anyone about learning about ki I'm preparing for LDC. LDC is a lower divisional clerk. The basic post in Group B and Group C post. So LDC is in various ministries and departments. Second is Group B and Group C non-technical. Then you have wait, Then you have assistants in various ministries and departments, inspectors of central excise, income tax, enforcement officers, and you have sub-inspector in CBI and CPO. These are the ones you have been listening to all the year around in various posters. Okay, let's prepare about the SI in CBI, CPO, Delhi Police. This is the one. Then you have, if you are qualified enough to be a auditor or a statistical officer, depending on your background, educational background. Like if you have accounts, finance, and statistics as your subject, then you can also apply for divisional accountants, auditors, and accountants in CAG. I hope we are aware about what CAG is. CAG is the Comptroller and Auditor General, the organization that audits the government reports, the government accounts, be it central government, the state government. So this is that post. Then you have junior engineer in CPWD. This is for someone who has a engineering degree, not the ones that we usually have. Someone's for engineers, like junior engineer can be civil or mechanical or whatever qualification as they have. Then you have tax assistant and section officer. Like this is not everything. This is the basic groupism, if you can say. These are the basic groups under which SSC recruits. You can have, in fact, their subordinate officers and the associate officers under these criteria. These recruitments are also done by SSC. So basically, SSC is the milestone from where you can actually start preparing, and you have the thing. Now, when it comes about how do we know whether we are appropriately managed, like whether we are whether we are capable to apply for this? What is the eligibility? So you have SSC conducts exams at different levels. Like it conducts exams for 10th level as well, 12th and graduation level as well. And especially there are some exams, like I just told you, junior engineers and statistical officers that are under various different qualifications. So now a candidate can choose based on his or her eligibility criteria, and then he can apply forward to that. So you have 10th, 12th and graduate. So if you are applying for a post that is of 10th level, so you will get a similar job depending on the qualification. If it's of 12th, like 12th, after 12th you can get a postman's, the work that they get in, and you have IB also, you get similar post in IB, and graduation for everything you have. In spite of that, like if it is of 12th, you have different ages as well. Like if it is of 12th standard, so your minimum age can be 18. For a graduate student, it can be 21. This is the minimum age, but you have certain relaxations as well if you are like above the upper age limit. Like 18 to 32 is the 18 to 32 is the age for general students. So, but when it comes, this is the category-wise age-wise relaxation. Like if you are from a SC or ST category student, you can get a 5 years relaxation in the upper age. Like if it is 18 to 32, to 32 plus 5, that is the maximum age goes to for 5 years. This is a minimum ages. This is a age-wise relaxation. So it can be for OBC 3 years, PWD is persons with disabilities 10 years, PWD in OBC category, that is 13 years, PWD in SC ST category 15 years. But the point is, this age-wise relaxation is for someone who has, you can say, might have started late. This is not for someone who started at the age of 21 and goes on giving up to 37. You can, there's no limit to it. You can definitely, if it has given, you can allow it to, but people try to limit their attempts as well. Now, this is what I found on the SSC's page itself, quite motivating in itself. Like if I have the belief that I can do it, I shall surely acquire the capacity to do it, even if I may not have it at the beginning. I don't know what did you get out of this, but this is something way too inspirational for me. If you have the courage, if you have the willpower, or if you have that strong will in yourself that yes, I have, this is my option and this is what I have to do, then you can do it. even if you're not capable or at that position, like if I can say, okay, I'm at this level, I want to appear for a CA exam, and I have no capabilities as such, no no degree, nothing, but I have that will that I'll do it. So that is it. You need to have that build in yourself. You need to have that willpower in yourself that will uh, s- that will eventually turn out to be your capacity and help in that formation. We did about the eligibility. Now the biggest question before I would answer, before considering the syllabus is, okay, syllabus, and since this is a digital era, we all know that there are many.
I'm sorry to
Hello,
interrupt you. Can you please change the slides as well?
this one.
Can you please change the slides?
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
I'll keep on.
thanks.
Yeah. What I was saying, like before considering the syllabus, before considering about the syllabus, the biggest thing for any one of us is knowing where we are, knowing what we stand for. Like for syllabus will give you a proper guideline. These are the topics that you know, but in general, these syllabus things like they are basically maths, reasoning, GK, and your normal maths, reasoning, GK. These are the basic things. These are certain things that you might be knowing before doing graduation, that you are capable of doing. So before uh, judging yourself that I'm a poor candidate or anything, go for a mock test. Like do at least solve 2 to 3 previous year papers. Just in case you will know, okay, my English is pretty good. I have a good command over my English and reasoning is fine. But in that case, I have a problem in maths. So this will give you an idea where you stand and where you need to cover up more. So syllabus we have, the first is general intelligence and reasoning. This is more like you might have heard about reasoning thing. Just, this is in short, you might have heard from students as reasoning. Reasoning is like questions of both verbal and non-verbal type. They may include questions on analogies, similarities, differences, spatial visualization, spatial orientation, problem solving, analysis, judgment, decision making, visual memory. Okay, instead of reading it, I know you'll get the syllabus on SSC's website as well. But the point is, this is a general intelligence and reasoning. Like we have those puzzles when we used to do in the school time, puzzle solving, problem solving, general clock issues, clock problems. So this is more and more. This depends more on your practicing skills. So you know the problem, you know that this has the solution, but the main problem comes while you have to solve those 50 questions in a limited time period. That's where your speed needs to come up. That this is your first thing, general intelligence and reasoning. So there are almost 50 questions of this in a first paper of 100 marks. Next is your general awareness. Okay, this is one area where students find it difficult, not because it's like general awareness, but because it has a vast approach, vast magnitude and vast syllabus. And the bigger thing is they ask facts. Sometimes they ask very simple single line facts. Even if you know about the concepts and various issues, the facts turn out to be a problem because learning all the facts is not easy, first. And second, even if you learn facts, there's a luck factor that whatever you are reading, that comes into the question paper. Sometimes people say that I was lucky this time. Lucky in the context, whatever they have read, the questions are from that segment. So when you are talking about this in general awareness, you have a lot of books in the market that some of them being Lucent and others that talk about history, geography. Basically, the syllabus of general awareness is up to 10th or up to 12th, you can say NCRTs. Social studies that we had studied and sciences. So social studies, you have history, geography, polity, economics, and science. So this is the entire syllabus. don't need a special study of any discipline. Special study, like you don't need to learn them at the post graduation level or at the matlab, in like a PhD. You don't need to do a PhD in all the subjects, but you need to have a general awareness. And the best source for this is NCERTs. That's why people in competition, they always pursue, they always ask you to read and read like NCERTs before choosing any other publication, any other book. This NCERTs form the bedrock of this general awareness. So if you are someone who has been enrolled in CBSE or who has a better idea of NCERT books, you could simply revise your NCERTs from 8th class or 6th as such. But if you feel that your basics are a little low, and if you feel that I've forgotten things I had known for like years, you can simply start reading your NCERTs from class 6. From class 6, the NCERTs would be your social sciences, history, geography, polity, or what we used to call civics in class 6. Then you have your science books, and maths would come, but not because class 6 maths is pretty easy for SSC. For SSC, you need a different level of maths. So, so for general awareness, the basic thing and the basic link is NCERT. Next is numerical aptitude, also in simple sense, maths. So I was among those who feared maths from class 10, not even class 10, like years before. I don't know why, but maths had always, always had this phobia of maths. Even in that case, maths can be handled pretty good. You would need to so for maths, just a second. Is the PPT now moving? Hello? No?
No, it's not.
But I can see the entire PPT.
No, it's not moving. It's still.
Anamika, just click on enable editing button on your PPT.
Yeah,
Now it's working.
Yeah.
Thank you. I didn't check the phone itself.
No problem.
So when we are talking about maths, the syllabus as such says simple things like whole numbers, decimals, fractions, relationship between numbers, and you have another like selection of appropriate. These are things of 10 plus 2 level. Like the standard of the questions will be 10 plus 2 level. But since it's a competitive exam and since it's much more about working within the time limits, working like solving this many questions in a certain time limit, the problem here comes is that you need to solve the questions in a pretty fast manner with a better accuracy. So that comes when you keep on practicing. So first of all, what is advisable for maths is that you solve NCERTs till 10th, the NCERT problems till 10th. But after you have solved those NCERTs, you go for an advanced level book. Advanced level book could be your R.S. Sharma or similar, like the coaching institutes provide at various places. They're also available for free. Like or you have Rakesh Sir's maths, you have 4700 plus or 200 questions. That is a good book for maths. But for maths, whatever I have felt is you need to keep on practicing. That is the entire thing for maths, because the questions, because most of the students, what they do score pretty well in maths because of their practice sessions. Next is our English. For someone like me who was always pretty much comfortable in English, English was never a major issue. English has been English has been pretty much scoring because you know it, you have dealt with it like since so many years, so this was not an issue. But if you feel that you have, if first of all, so you need to know that you is your English at par with the syllabus, is it at par with the kind of questions they are asking. If it is, to find that out, simply what you can do is solve previous year's papers. Whatever papers that are available, solve the English section, solve that section, get your scores, and you will be quite comfortable, and you will understand what is the section that I am facing problem. It can be synonyms, antonyms problem, or it can be jumble word section, or it can be a similar it might be a comprehension as well, because comprehension, the passages that we have, they turn out to be at times a little difficult, at times a little very easy. Like for UPSC, you have a CSAT papers. In CSAT paper, what we have is the comprehension papers, that the passages that we have, they come a little longer. So at times they check your reading speed. At times they check your vocabulary. So for English, and if you need to improve on that, the basic and the best thing is to start reading newspapers. If you're reading newspapers, then nothing has to be doubted upon. Most of the students, what I have seen is they keep on cutting articles from newspapers, and they stick it on their notebooks, make a big scrapbook kind of things from their newspaper. That is not advice. While you're reading newspaper, you can eventually improve your English. Side by side, you can improve your general awareness also, because there's a current affairs section in general awareness that mostly comes from newspaper. So newspaper is something that you need to read every day. And keep in mind that if you're not getting a lot of things, if you're not learning a lot of things from newspaper, just you can learn a few phrases from newspapers, or you can learn a few words here and there and start using them. Learning words won't make a difference until and unless you start using them in your own language. We, as a child, I remember we used to write 5 words from the newspaper, and like holiday homework, we used to be given like 5, learn and write 5 words from. That doesn't help until and unless you start using that words in your vocabulary. This is how you can use newspapers to improve your English as well as your general awareness section. So these 4 things, right? General intelligence and reasoning, general awareness, numerical aptitude, and English. So when I was saying that the syllabus of SSC is not very wide or not very rocket science, this is what I meant. These are basic things. These are very, very basic stuff, very, very basic things that we have been learning in our education system since, if you have studied for 12 years in school, or 12+3 graduation in school, these are certain things. That is why you should be knowing, where do I stand as of now? What is my limit? What do I do? Which is the section in these 4 that I'm more capable of? Which is the section that I feel, okay, I'm good at intelligence and reasoning portion, I'm fine with maths, but I think I have an issue with current affairs. Work on that section. This is how you will be getting through it. Now you know SSC, you know that the exams, how are these exams being conducted, what all exams are being conducted by SSC. You know, this is not the entire syllabus. Like for junior engineer, the syllabus can vary. For a statistical officer, the syllabus can have statistics. For an audit and accountant officer, you can have accounts and finance as the subjects. But in general, most of the exams conducted by SSC have these 4 parameters as the syllabus. Like the SSC CGL combined graduate level, this is the basic parameter. Even in any case, this is the minimum thing that you should be knowing. Now, when you know, the next most important thing is plan ahead. Plan ahead is like, you know that this particular exam is going to come. Now you need to plan according to that. For example, this is how an SSC exam calendar comes. Like if you are in contact, if you are in touch with people, if you have that zeal to cover, you might already be having this exam calendar. You can take a look at this if it is visible, or we can share the exam calendar later on as well. We do have it on a PDF, or you can also get this from SSC's website. This is also available there. Now this entire thing, you can see something is paper 2, paper 1, tier 3, tier 1. This is how they plan ahead. This is your 1 year planning. till this section. So you have what all exams we have. You have examination for selection post. This is an earlier one, 14th, that's gone, September 2020. Okay, you have stenographer. This one was scheduled today. Junior Hindi translator, senior Hindi translator, junior engineer, civil, mechanical engineer, electrical and quantitating surveying and contract, CGL Tier 1, CHSL combined higher secondary examination. This is after class 12. Then you have SI in Delhi Police and CAPF. This did came SI Police, multitasking non-technical staff examination. So you have a calendar. They have already notified the exam schedule. Now you know that your exam is coming. So this is they have given this so that you start preparing in advance. You know the syllabus. Everything is uploaded on the website. In fact, this is something apart from the controversy going on right now that is being happening for a lot of for a long time, especially when seeing for trending in SSC for railways and UPS SSC. So that's a issue that has been happening for a few years in the country. But when we see as such calendars are being issued so that you can prepare in advance. Now most of the students when they are most of the candidates when they are appearing, what they do is what they prepare for is at the CGL, that is common combined graduate level. So in that case the scheme is this. The exam scheme is on four phases, like you have tier 1, you have tier 2, tier 3 and tier 4. The exam is being conducted at 4 phases. So if you and the person is called on for interview or the final phase depending on the combined merit list of the 3 exams, tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3. Tier 1 is also known as prelims, tier 2 is also known as mains, and tier 3 depends. It can be a written, it can be physical, it can be interview depending on the exam, the nature of the exam that we have. So when you have the scheme of tier 1, so just like I was telling, you have 4 sections: general intelligence, general awareness, quantitative aptitude, English comprehension. Number of questions are 25. Marking is 50. Like one question is for 2 marks. Time allowed is 60 minutes. 60 minutes for entire thing. Like for 100 questions, you will be given 60 minutes. This is the first tier. This is tier 1. 4 parts, 25 questions each. Most of the times what SSC has now done is it has moved over to online classes. Sorry, online exams. Online exams as such, like earlier we used to go to the center and have pen and paper type of mode. SSC now is moved on a lot on exam on the online mode. What happens is online you go, you enter the exam hall, or most of it's like a computer lab. So you go there, you start solving the questions. In the pen paper mode, you still have some seconds here and there more, but in this, the exam starts at sharp, like whatever, if it's 8 to 10, 8 o'clock, it will start, the portal would start at 8 o'clock and exactly at 9, it will close. So this is a new thing, but it is pretty good to avoid other issues. So that's your scheme of, that's your tier 1. When we come to tier 2, this is your tier 2. Tier 2 again is objective. This was also objective. You have to choose between the 4 options. Tier 2 is again objective. You have 4 papers, but you have things like, see, you have first paper is quantitative abilities, again maths. Second is English language and comprehension. Paper 3 statistics, and paper 4 GS, that is finance and economics. Statistics for JSO. JSO is junior statistical officer. The paper 3 of statistics is for those candidates who have applied for JSO, and paper 4 is for those who have applied for assistant audit officer and assistant accounts officer under CAG. CAG, that is CAG. Now these papers are a little elaborative in the sense that the maths or the English that is coming is generally of the same the same thing, like you have quantitative aptitude here also, you have English here also, but it's a little more detailed, or you can say a little more complex in that regard. So you have 100 questions and 2 marks for each question, 200 marks. Now you have 120 minutes for each paper here. Like for paper 1, you have 2 hours. Paper 2, you have 2 hours. If you are eligible for paper 3 and paper 4 also, if you applied for that, you'll have paper 120 minutes for that also. That is your tier 2. Now when we come about, you have tier 3 as well. This is tier 3 is a descriptive paper. Descriptive, like the earlier 2 were objective paper, objectives where we have to simply fill the OMR sheets. Tier 3 is a pen and paper mode, which is generally a 100 marks exam of either Hindi or English. Like it's a language test. It's a language test of 100 marks. Timing is again 60 minutes. This is it. So you have CGL, the SSC CGL exam, that is the one that you give after the graduation, is this. You have first is tier 1, you get through it, or you write down, you have a tier 2, then you give out tier 3. In the papers tier 1 and tier 2, you have negative marking. Like tier 1, there's a negative marking of 0.5 marks. 0.5 marks, like if there is a question of 2 marks, you will get 0.5 marks are reduced. That is 1/4. And tier 2, you have 0.25 for English language and 0.5 marks for other 2 papers, if you are appearing for the other one as well. So this is something. Till now, paper 1, 2, and 3, or the tier 1, 2, and 3, they deal much about your knowledge. When you talk about tier 4 can be an interview, can be a physical test, can be a CPT test, or can be DST test. Now, CPT is something you might have heard about a lot, like that. This is computer proficiency test. Now, it generally tests your usage of Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, basics of computers. This is your CPT. So if you have cleared, or if your merit list have gone tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, if you have combined the merit list, you have your marks are above the cutoff for these total cutoff, then you will be you will be called for CPT or DST. These are for tier 2, you won't be given marks. These are qualifying in nature. Qualifying in the sense that you have to simply qualify. CPT is computer proficiency test. DEST is for data entry skill test. Data entry skill test, like there are some positions and some posts in clerical jobs where you have to enter a lot of data in the system. So this is DEST. Now it has 8,000 digits per minute, 8,000 per minute. But when it goes, the way that we count it is like 25 to 30 words per minute. This is the efficiency. If you have like a if you have appeared for tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and you are comfortable that you are above the cutoff score, you can easily get these training done, even if you don't have any idea. Like if you haven't learned any kind of these what do we say, computer skills, like going to typing test, and you can simply learn these tests. You can simply get the skills in like 1.5 months or something. The way, then you have physical test for SI post, inspectors post, excise inspector, CPO, CBI. These are the posts, and in some posts we have interviews. SSC provides really good opportunities at various, because we have seen many candidates who have already got a job from SSC, like they are assistant in the central secretariat, or they are doing some kind of job, like really good jobs in government services, and then they appear for UPS. So what happens is SSC is something they find it more comfortable with themselves. They keep on learning this. This is something, if you are pretty much sure, you can clear it in one go, and you can have a very strong base. Very strong base in the sense that the very urge or the very need of this government services is fulfilled. Now, when we come about cutoff, these are some data to show how people have been faring off in these exams. Like you have in 2016, 38 lakhs people filled the form for SSC CGL. This is for SSC CGL because, as I've already told you, this is the one that most of the candidates filled. This form is the one. out of those 38 lakh candidates that applied for this, only 14 lakh 82,000 students appeared for it. That is 38% appeared for the exam. So when you listen to things like, oh my God, like so many people are appearing, 38 lakhs, 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs, this is the kind of attendance that you are getting, registrations that you are getting, you don't need to fear about it, because the general attendance that comes, that is almost 50%, or in fact at times less than 50%. A lot of people fill the form in curiosity, okay, let's fill it, because it's not too costly as well. The form is pretty much not that costly. So a lot of people apply, but only serious candidates get through it. For these three papers, you have 10% of the entire population, like the 14 lakh students that applied. In that, 10% cleared the exams and they got this services. Similarly, you have 30 lakhs for students applying in 2017, 25 lakhs in 2018. This one, the 2018 one, is now under the controversy. This SSC CGL 2018 vacancy is now under controversy, because things have been remaining, like there has been a certain exam that is not completed yet. Now, since we know that certain things have already been, I don't know how much you're getting it, how much I am able to deliver the things that I want to, but even if you're getting 5 to 10% or 1% of whatever I want to deliver, there's a certain idea when you appear for a competitive exam in your mind, that you have an exam, you have the syllabus in your hand, you know what how do you start it. So how do you start preparing yourself mentally before you actually start your preparation physically, that is on a pen or paper mode? You need to devise a lot of more a strategical part inside your brain, that is starting it from your brain. You need to know, okay, you have to strategize, you have to plan, you have to actually implement the schemes that you're working on. So when you need to plan, you need to know, okay, what are the resources. Now when it comes to resources, when I was preparing for this, I saw a lot of online websites, like online YouTube channels that work on this SSC things and all. So for a candidate who wants to actually clear the exam, there's nothing very difficult or impossible in this world, because for now when we see, and as the world is, things are so much available at such an ease that you can actually prepare. The biggest thing for any exam is resources. You keep on searching for resources. What are the books, what are the content, how do I start, where is the test paper? Everything is available online, everything. Now it's a situation when there's a lot of material and you have to choose selectively what is the one that I need to read. So first of all, when you take it as a battlefield, or you take it as any other way, you take the exam as a battlefield from where you have to anyhow come out winning. So knowing the battlefield is the best knowing the battlefield is the basic requisite before you conquer it. You should know what you have to do. You should know what you need to study. You should know how much you need to study. You should know how much time it will take. This is what I was talking about, mental preparation. How do you start doing it? First and foremost thing is, start solving traditional or static question of last 5 years. Why I'm only pushing on the static part is because it, there's no ratio as such कि how much current will come and how much other things will come. But for you can solve English, you can solve your comprehension, you can solve your mental reasoning and mental quantitative aptitude, reasoning. But when it comes about general awareness, you even if you're reading current affairs of last 5 years, it's of no use. So go for traditional or static questions. Where will you get that? You will get those on websites, SSC's website, or on YouTube, and any other thing that is. So this is how you should start. First thing is, take the previous year's paper, see through it, what is the sense, where should we start. Next is, when you're coming, that minimize sources and maximize resources. Looks more like minimum governance and maximum governance. So you, since the government or since the exam schedule because of corona and other areas have actually been impacted a lot. There is a general perception like kab tak padhenge. There's a general perception ki okay, we know the exam, but since the environment is corona impacted, the world is in a pandemic, we don't know whether the exam will happen or not, what will be the impact. So we end up in losing our strengths. We end up in becoming more diversified. We tend to take everything almost. We tend to take like read this, like you have ample sources to start with. But the fact is, minimize your sources and maximize your revision. How will you minimize sources? For general awareness, I've already told you, you start with your NCR. That is the minimum. This is the minimum, basic minimum requirement. For English, you start your English comprehension mock test papers, previous year papers, and if you're still feeling uncomfortable, take only one reputed book, one book that has a fair, uh, fair credentials on it. Start solving that book. Like whatever people say, na, ki, instead of reading 5 books, read one book 5 times. That is one thing that you need to do. One has to be continuous. One has to continuously be on revision mode. Lest on the D-day you will end up in a state of confusion. This is something for if you have been appearing for exams. This is something that happens like every other second. You know the thing. I have read this question, but I'm not able to. I'm not able to just remember recall what is the right answer. This is because of lack of revision. Even if you have completed the syllabus once, twice, you need to keep on revising. Revising is the key to strength, a key for your exam. Revise your strengths. When we say revise your strengths, or people generally say that revise your weaknesses or work on your weak areas. But what I've felt is it's a different thing for me. We keep on, like for me, economics is a weak subject. I keep on revising economics, keep on revising. Ultimately, if there are 10 questions, I'll somehow be able to make 6 to 7 questions correct. But since science is my background, I tend to avoid my subject. Avoid in the sense that I just don't read science. You know, that overconfidence comes into it that you are a science graduate, you know everything about science. So in an exam, it happened that just basic questions of class 9th and 10th NCERT is like I knew that was on this page, this is the line, but even in that context, I couldn't remember it. This is why we say revise your strengths as well. If you're revising your weaknesses 5 times, at least revise your strength once. At least read that section once in your while so that you know. And there's a lesser guilt because if a weak area, if a question comes from a weaker section, then if it is wrong, then you don't have that guilt. But if it's something that you have been reading since childhood and then you keep on make it incorrect, then it will be a bigger guilt. Keep your sources limited and keep your sources limited and revise them again and again, minimum 3 times. This is when you have the exam calendar, exam schedule in your hand. Before the exam schedule, like if you have the exam schedule, like you know that after 3 months, your exams will be conducted. So try making a plan according to which you have revised the entire syllabus 3 times. Then solving mocks, like solving 50 questions daily. For SSC maths, this is a daily prerequisite. Like apart from solving 50 questions of any other things, 50 questions of maths and 50 questions of any other subject can be your daily prerequisite. When we talk about studying, when we talk about preparing for a competitive exam, when we talk about preparing for a competitive exam, the biggest thing that will help you in an exam is a timetable. Planning, strategizing, keeping your priorities clear. These are certain things. Like it's often said that it's not the books that make you the winner. It's your mind. It's how you prepare yourself mentally is the one that will make you sound strong. So first of all, don't make a timetable that's very ambitious in the sense that You don't have time to breathe in it. Some students I've seen them make a timetable like 5 minutes, मतलब 5 minute का भी gap नहीं देना. They will make a timetable in certain scenario. अभी they have woke up, जैसे एक typical timetable होता है. You woke up at 6 in the morning and you read your newspaper for 1 hour, then you start. Don't make it very ambitious so that you succumb to it. You are not able to accomplish even half of it, and at the end of the day, at the end of 1 hour or like half a day, you feel exhausted. Timetable should be sustainable in the sense that you can follow the timetable for a majority, like 6 days in a week. Okay, one day we understand that one day you cannot accomplish the timetable because of any reason, but a timetable should be sustainable. It shouldn't be very enforcing on you. It should be very comfortable the way. Please don't make a timetable that says ki I will read 10 to 14 hours a day. Let's be very practical. 10 to 14 hours a day is not possible. If you start today and your exam is on next September, and if you're saying कि मैं रोज 12 घंटे पढ़ूंगा, this is not going to happen. You need to make a very well, I don't know why it is so difficult to accept that okay, 6 hours of daily study is fine. Why is it so difficult to accept? 6 घंटे बहुत होते हैं. This is the bottom line. 6 hours is a lot. But if you are very ambitious, if you think कि मैं तो बाहुबली हूँ, I can do anything, so go on, like try making a 14 hours timetable, and please let me know if you follow it for more than a month and you don't have an exam in mind. I'm not saying that you can't read for 14 hours a day if you for a month. You can, like I have read it, but I had my prelims in my mind. That is like I have one exam in my mind, 1 hour before it, you can do it, no doubt. But this is not possible for 8-9 months long curriculum. If you have, because this is as far as you can see, SSC is not like one exam, you cleared one exam and everything is over. Like this is not a one-day match. You have tier 1, you have tier 2, you have tier 3. So it's a big way. It's a long way, and you have to learn things. You have to keep patience in it. And when we say a timetable should be inclusive of everything. Like it should have newspaper in it. It should have your GK. It should have your English. It should have more of your maths. If your maths is weak, for me it was weak, so I keep on practicing maths. So why do you do that? A good timetable reduces wastage of time and energy. It covers every subject in a definite time scale. A good timetable keeps you motivated and disciplined and in track. Exactly. It will keep you motivated and disciplined, but if you tend to, if you are unable to fulfill it, it will give you guilt. It will give you a bad feeling that I'm unable to follow my timetable. Just to avoid that case, just to avoid that guilt, this is why a good timetable is needed. This is why you need a timetable, so that if you have lost one day, okay, you have a bad feeling while sleeping that okay, I was unable to fulfill my timetable. Next day onwards, I will start preparing. Without a timetable, एक दिन, 2 दिन, 4 दिन, हफ्ता भी पता नहीं चलता. There's no doubt in it. You have a target in your mind with a timetable. Okay, these are the targets. This is what everything, like from books like the Deep Powers and Dark Secrets and everything that I have been reading, this is what they talk about. This is what they say. You need to know what you have to do at the next day. You need to have a target for your life. For a day, that's the only way you will move. Otherwise, you will stay there itself and you won't be able to think, have I accomplished something or not? This is what the last bullet here says. Studying without a timetable is like walking on a path without a destination. Okay, I don't know if anyone of you is from management. That there's a principle known as Pareto principle or 80-20 rule. When we talk about students who are in competitive exam, be it NEET, be it engineering, be it any other exam or IAS, they have this approach. Like for me also, when I was coming to Delhi, a lot of people came to me, like friends, relatives, neighbors. They used to ask me कि 12 घंटे 14 घंटे पढ़ाई करनी पड़ती है, कर लोगी? This is the general stereotypical attitude that a lot of candidates face. सबके साथ हुआ होगा. This is not anything new that I am telling you. या अगर नहीं हुआ है तो, और अगर आपने सोच लिया है कि अब मुझे कंपटीशन की तैयारी करनी है तो तैयार हो जाओ, ये होगा. But the bottom line lies in this 80-20 rule, that is less is more. Less is more, that is key. This is the key, that prioritize your time, effort and study materials. Put effort on the 20% area which can bring 80% results. 20% area, like this is a certain example. Like there are 10 students in a coaching institute, and if you're practicing, if you're giving a lot of equal benefits and everything equal, but there are two students, you know these are the potential students, they can give me results, and I give my extra attention to those two students, and those two students bring out the result, they give me a rank. So for me, 2 out of 10 is an achievement. In that case, those two students were my priorities. This is what is Pareto principle, that you need to give your efforts on that 20% area which can bring 80% result. Now this 20% area can be your newspaper, this can be your strength. Like if there are 25 questions and you know that you can easily do 20 questions in maths out of 25, this is your priority area. This is where you have to work. So any exam, this slide was basically for UPSC, but when you want to clear any exam, you need to have a positive mindset and a practical strategy. While I say positive mindset, it deals a lot about our surroundings. It's not about simply me. I can start my preparation, but the preparation is a whole journey. It is not something that I've decided overnight and next day I'm a certain assistant director or any other thing. No, this is a long journey. You need to have a big you need to have a serious kind of positive mindset, because sometimes we don't know, we really don't know if our neighbors or relatives, they kind of keep on pulling each other, and this you will not have every time anyone to console you. So this is about like I had made something about NRA as well, National Recruitment Agency as well, but it's almost 4. I know you might have heard about this. This was in newspapers, this was in TV, everywhere. This is a new agency that's in place. This is a kind of, this is currently, this is because of the lack of coordination. You can say that this brings coordination in. Like currently government job seekers appear for multiple examinations conducted by multiple agencies. So you have to pay repetitive fees, travel great distances several times a year. So it will remove all these pain points, and with a common admission test, CAT, common eligibility test, it is also known as CET for tier 1. So this is where it will differ. So initially the NRA will conduct CET twice a year. CET is your common eligibility test. This is your tier 2, tier 1 exam of SSC. So it will conduct this common eligibility test, and from there registrations will be done online. Bulk of the candidates will be screened out during CET. Medium of writing will be a multiple choice objective type question paper. It can be Hindi, English, or we have seen that certain languages, regional languages are also coming into it. Number of candidates appearing will get reduced to nearly 5% of the total number of candidates. While this is a new move, this is something that's been happening for a while. A lot of it needs to be seen, especially on the light of draft education policy, on the light of new education policy, and how it is going to be implemented is a bigger challenge. But till then, the current pattern of SSC is in place. The current pattern is on it, and we can similarly see things. I don't know how much you got. I really don't know how much you're motivated. I don't know how much you know. But for me, the secret is being motivated. I have been in this from like past 5 years. I have appeared for a lot of exams. I have given a lot of exams. I've cleared a lot of exams. But at certain stages, you are either not into it. You don't like to get the physical out of it, or for some I haven't appeared for physical. For some I felt homesick. Like for CDS, SSB, I was like I don't want to give. So it's a journey, and whatever I have felt is that the entire scenario is staying motivated. Staying motivated because you have the zeal in you कि मुझे पता है मुझे यही चाहिए. I need this, and till the time I haven't received this, I will not stop. This is what we need to. So never stop believing in yourself. This is first and foremost. A lot of people don't believe in yourself, believe in themselves. Let them stop. Stop to tab hoga na when you start believing in yourself. The first thing is start believing in yourself. And this is a fear psychosis is a very small term. It's like very understatement in India or in where we know, but it's a big thing. It happens to people like us also or anyone also, even after appearing for exams, even after getting selected, even after working for a lot of institutes and organizations. I do sometimes get filled in this scenario, but you need to get out of it. You need to understand everything is in your head. The basic thing is, while most people succumb to the external forces of life, a few individuals remain firm and rooted in the experience of their self to change external circumstances and recreate their lives. आसान नहीं होता पर मुश्किल भी नहीं है. It's not that difficult. हाँ, थोड़ा because the journey is a little bit longer, but if you can do it, if you have the eligibility, if you have the capability, and above all, if you have the willpower to do it, you can always do it. Yeah, any questions?
Do we have any questions?
I don't think so.
No questions?
You can unmute if you have questions and ask.
I think there's no confusion. Nobody wants to ask anything.
Even if you don't have any confusion, please stay motivated. And I don't know how much it makes sense to you, but everything is in your head. Everything. Okay, there's someone.
Shivang Chaudhary. Yes, please
Yes.
unmute yourself.
Yeah. Hello, am I audible to you?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, so thank you, ma'am, for this enlightening session. Ma'am, I would like to ask that, as you know, that this SSC process is a bit cumbersome. You see, it takes years for the
Yes.
final result to get out, and you have to wait for the joining.
Yes.
So, what is usually people usually advise simultaneously give other exams as well, like banking, railway. So, what do you advise regarding this?
See, it depends on your personal will also, and it depends on your personal skills as well. Like for me, I have been giving exams simultaneously also because, as you have already seen, ki it takes years, and you cannot, simply sit. So it's upon you,
Yeah.
totally upon you. If you have, because whatever we are seeing, it like 2018 vacancy is not yet completed till 2020. So it's advisable that you opt for other services as well. But if you're a serious candidate with UPSC as a name, because UPSC is an organization that the civil services exam that it completes within a year. So if you have certain exam that completes within a stipulated time, then you are advisable to go for it at least one free-handed, like, okay, this is only what I want to choose. But when you don't have the options, like you have 3 hours, 3 years, 4 years, you don't know how much time will it take, it's advisable you should opt for similar exams as well. It should be similar. It shouldn't be very different. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. That's it.
You're welcome, Shimon.
Any more questions?
I think there's no questions.
That's it. It was a wonderful session. I would request Ms. Ikrar Rahman to propose a vote of thanks.
So, a very good afternoon to one and all present here. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose a word of thanks for this session. I, on behalf of Impar, would like to extend a very hearty vote of thanks to Ms. Anamika Singh for gracing us with her valuable time and sharing with us her expertise, findings, opinions. Thank you so much, Ms. Anamika.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And I mention my deep sense of appreciation to all the participants for taking out time for this session. I hope the learnings will be fruitful for all the aspirants. Thank you so much and have a good day.
Thank you, Namika. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Okay.